Hello, I'm Adinser and welcome to 5 Minutes Till Reset. So while I was raiding these past few months, I came across so many people that don't know the first thing about playing their class, so I started observing closely and what I saw was appalling. To tell you the truth, the general skill level for the whole player base has dropped significantly over the years. And this is not some rant on how old school players are superior in every way or something like that. No. Only a year ago, in Mists of Pandaria, I wouldn't have dreamt of seeing the plays some people make these days. At first I thought that they were all actually new players, but I have grown to understand that yes, of course, some of them are, but most play on the lowest possible skill level because they have been programmed to do so, and plus they simply don't care. But why? Well, there are a lot of minor things, but the most important ones are the looking for group tool itself and the ludicrous accessibility of everything in the game. Now, before you turn this video off, just know that I am aware that the game is harder than it used to be. Way harder, or at least the mythic difficulties. But the average skill level, not talking about the top 1% that clear mythic in a couple of weeks, or the new players that understandably don't know what's what, the average, and I can't emphasize this enough, average skill level has been plummeting ever since Wrath of the Lich King. The first culprit was the easiness of the dungeons and raids back then. After that, we got looking for dungeon and looking for raid, which ruined the community and further dumbed down the majority of the player base. Everyone was conditioned to think that all would be given to them at every step of the way, and WoW never truly recovered from that. The furthest it got was in Mists of Pandaria. At least some people did start to better themselves, even if just a little. Preach from Preach Gaming was trying to do so for the entirety of Mists, and to some extent he succeeded. So, as I said before, the new looking for group system and the "oh, thanks for a few minutes of your time, here's your epics" attitude made this current player base totally inept. And again, I'm not trying to bash anyone, it is just something that I feel strongly about, and I hate to see the game go down even further. And trust me, the community is everything in an MMO, so you better believe that if the majority of the player base plays at the lowest skill level possible, there will be problems as there are now. As from a guild and raid leader perspective, it's almost impossible to form a new raiding group on the most populated server in Europe, let alone on a smaller one. Everyone is just so used to the total anonymity, amnesty and lack of consequences of looking for group, same as it was with looking for raid before, that when they actually do join a guild, they have no sense of obligation or actual willingness to raid at all. They are simply not used to raiding as you and I know and love, with a committed guild group that strive to kill bosses and gain loot, and have fun along the way. The single playerness of this expansion and what it did to the game will be hard, really hard to fix. But enough of that. I don't want to go any further down this rabbit hole. Now it's time for some solutions. There are 3 ways you can go about things. If you aren't interested in improving at all, there is still something minimal you can do that takes 1 or 2 minutes of your time. If you do PvP, go to Arena Mate. If you do PvE, go to World of Wargraphs. There you can find the top players of your class and spec. It's very easy, just copying their build and everything they do. No thinking required. If you, however, want to improve, but don't know where to look, the places I would recommend outside of those 2 sites are Icy Veins for PvE, Arena Junkies and Skill Kept for PvP. As for a video format, for PvE the best option is the long and amazingly insightful podcast Final Boss, and for PvP really any of the top streamers when they are on. Just watch them and see how they think and react to different situations. And the third option lies somewhere in the middle. It is just watching guides on YouTube. There are tons of guides coming out every single patch for every single spec in the game. I myself have done some guides in the past on classes that I know a lot about and that I usually play. Those kinds of guides serve as a quality of life thing for people that don't have enough time to sift through lines and lines of text and math on various sites, but still want to invest some time into learning their class. So we do that instead of you. The ones I would recommend, besides mine of course, are Fat Boss for their boss guides, though I'm sure everyone that ever tried PvE has heard of them. For class guides on a basic level, Preach is a good option, and for everything else just find it on your own. There isn't a specific YouTube channel that does only high-end guides on all classes, so find the one that plays your class but on a high level, and that makes guides along the way. So, I really do hope that you do go at least one of those ways. And I know that this is all common knowledge, or at least I thought it was, since I lost faith in people actually knowing anything about the game at all, or simply not caring. I think that this video was worthwhile making. Anyway, the next episode won't be so doom and gloomy, I promise. Have an awesome reset, thanks for watching, and see you next time.